on another episode of I Told You So, and we've been waiting an entire year for this to come. As I told you guys, this was going to happen. Ariana Grande did what? Of course, just like I said, the cutest little witch, the cutest, most vicious little witch that she is, has supposedly, rumored, allegedly, broken up with Ethan Slater. Oh my gosh. It's almost as if we said this was going to happen a year ago, because we did. Do you guys remember me saying this? I just want it to be the record to show. And the videos are there. This is why I love that I record my videos in real time, and I don't do like these other YouTube channels that have to spend, a whole month preparing for a video in order to make it a big production. I can just tell you my opinion then and there, so we can all be up to date with what's going on real time. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ariana Grande has dropped Ethan Slater. And I'd just like to reiterate my theory for a moment, just so that we remember. I've told you guys, I believe that she's going to leave Ethan Slater. Then she's going to get with Cynthia Erivo after the movie or during the movie. Who knows? I don't. But one of the two. And then it's going to begin the next stage of the wave of straight men are the problem. All the girlies are going to be running off together, because I told you, they both kind of represent femininity and masculinity in itself, both of them, right? Because, I'm not going to get into it, but you guys can see what it is for what it is, or go and check out my videos from last year, right? But you've got, the Wicked Witch of the West, the one who's less loved. They appeal to everyone, right? The person who feels like they've not been chosen, the person that goes through things. This is why so many people were so touched by Elphaba, right? Because they, the girls, the gays, and the theys, because that's what we say in my generation. You know what's funny? The older generations have absolutely no idea what's happening in my generation, because every time I use that phrase, the girls, the gays, and the theys, if I'm talking to somebody my age, they know what I'm talking about. It's only you guys who don't. And it's a few times I've brought it up to older people, in generations above, and I've been like, this whole thing of the girls, the gays, and the theys, and how straight men are the problem. And they're like, no, I've not heard about that. And I'm like, you don't know you don't know what's going on in my generation at all. And it's worrying, because this is what your kids are listening to. And anyways, all the girls, the gays, and the theys are all feeling so seen and understood by Elphaba and whatever. Or you find yourself on the Ariana Grande side of things, where you're more comfortable and popular, and all of that, whatever. So I feel like they're going to get together. Guys are going to become the problem. Although, realistically speaking, I feel like it's going to come after the movie, because I feel like the story in the movie itself, it's making it look like there's going to be some kind of rivalry between Glinda and Elphaba for that dude. I don't even remember his freaking name, but I actually like him. He's one of the few times there's been a prince type of character that I've actually liked, right? But anyway, he's kind of cool. So anyway, we'll see how that plays itself out. Maybe they're just going to argue over him and then realize, why are we even letting a man get between us? Why are we letting straight men get between us? We should just be together. And I feel like that there's something like that is going to happen. And I feel like it's going to cause the wave. And then Ariana's going to come out and be like, I had all these struggles with all these guys. People didn't understand my story. She's probably written a whole album about how she was so misunderstood for all these men that she messed around with. And obviously, Cynthia Erivo's already, a lesbian anyway, or at least queer. So I just feel like, as I said, I knew that they were going to break up, and we're seeing it happen now. Oh, they're breaking up. Coinkadinkly, just before the movie, and then the movie's going to hit. They're all going to be doing their press tours again, holding each other's finger, the whole holding the finger thing, and doing their little crying together and all of this, right? It's all very emotional. That's what I'm saying. It's all very they're trying to make it very divine feminine driven, kind of thing. And let's not forget that Ariana Grande with her song God Is a Woman, right? So we know where this is going. I just wanted to say that to reiterate my theory, because I don't think people understand just how serious this is, and just how that this is where we're actually headed. So yeah, just throwing my thoughts out there, because I don't think, like I said, I think people are not taking any of this anywhere near seriously enough, and we're going to pay for it. So we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. But the thing is, I'm quite familiar with the devil, and I'm quite familiar with Jezebel as well. And Jezebel, the one thing about Jezebel that you guys have to understand is she wants anything that's not what God wants. I told you, she said to me, what I asked her what her goal is, she's like, to kill all men, women, and children. She literally is doing what she's trying to do, I believe, especially when it comes to gender specifically, is create a society where there is anything but the masculine man and feminine woman together. I believe she's trying to create anything but that. And that's what I'm trying to say to you guys is the problem. And it's quite funny because a lot of the girlies of my age group, even if they are happily in a relationship, will see their man as like the exception to the rule, and will still say that they hate all the straight men and that they are all for the girls, the gays, and the theys, the girls, the gays, and the theys. We get it. We know what we're going through. The patriarchy, look what they did to us. Hence why some of us got the tattoo, long live the patriarchy. It's because I realized the spiritual battle that I was in, the battle that I'm going to be in, and the battle we're going to be in is exactly this matriarchy versus patriarchy thing of like, oh, the men have, and unfortunately, like I said to you guys before, and I'll say it again, the men of society, I've been a victim of it many times myself, a lot of times have abused their power, abused their strength, abused the patriarchal system, and therefore have opened the door to these demons for these girls in the first place. And that's what I don't think a lot of people realize. A lot of men especially, this is why when I hear a lot of men, even well-meaning men, I even know a man, who really wants to help men and does therapy relationship therapy and counseling for men, right? And for a while, I was helping him, like I've said this stuff before, because the reason I was speaking to him so much is because I was helping him to put his videos online, helping him to learn how to do social media so that he could like make advice videos and all this stuff for the men. And I wouldn't give my opinion because I was there to do a job in it, but he would ask me my opinion, and a lot of the things he would say about women, I would think, you don't understand at all how women operate at all, and that is going to work against the male community. I'm telling you now, it's going to work against you guys because we don't understand each other. This is what I've understood. But the problem is now, where there's been such an abuse of power, because there's certain ways in which you guys can just overpower us. If we get into a screaming match, you can probably scream louder than us. If we get into a fighting match, you're always going to be stronger than us. Because we have that dynamic, and because so many men have abused it, because so many men have been like, women belong in the kitchen, women this, women that, so many different things, so many different narratives. Unfortunately, even if you're not the guy who's done that, that's opened the door. And again, it's always the bad people who are the loudest. It's the same for me as a woman. It's like so many things I hear guys say about women. I'm like, you're busy wasting your time with the Jezebels. I gave a whole video to you guys. I gave you countless examples throughout my entire life of times where a man or men took the side of another woman, of a Jezebel, and they paid the consequences and villainized me at the time. So it happens on both sides, but I'm just saying, anyways, I just wanted to reiterate that now that we're here again in this predicament. So be warned, because I believe this is Jezebel's goal. I believe Jezebel's goal is to enslave the straight men so that they can't actually be the men that God created for them to be. And I believe that her goal with the women is to get us to cut them out, right, and become these like matriarchal, we don't need the men kind of thing. And that's what I feel like her gameplay is. Enslave the men with whatever it is, and get them, like it says in the Bible, in Revelations, drunk. She gets the kings of the earth will be enslaved to Jezebel because of the riches and all these things that she'll offer them and whatever. Then obviously there's the sexual element. That's why I feel like, again, all this like other stuff that's happening, how these OnlyFans models are making so much money, like they're just turning into these slaves that don't have enough focus to be real men. And meanwhile, while she's dealing with that with the straight guys, over here we've got the girls, the gays, and the theys. It's all very feminine together over here, men even chopping off their penises, and we're all like, oh, straight men are the problem. She's repeated the same thing that the devil did, and we're still seeing the same tactic. Can you see that the devil's tactic has never changed? And this is why I truly believe that the unity of men and women is actually the greatest threat to the kingdom of darkness. This is exactly why, because it's always that. It's always that the enemy is attacking. So anyways, and again, in past seasons, in other countries, the enemy attacks that by having heavily matriarchal societies, like in the Arabias, the Middle Eastern countries, some of them, the Saudis and all these things, where women are really oppressed in a lot of aspects. But then you have the men again, still the Jezebelic nature, because a lot of them will still secretly be justifying sleeping with boys. And I've heard stories of men who've gone out to war in some of these countries and how they've seen, you know, young boys getting, you know, raped on the streets by these exact men who so-called, you know, these so-called Muslim macho patriarchal men. Like, it's all the same thing, it's all the same story. Anyways, you guys, I got to go. But because if life's a game is pay to win, just remember, I said this a year ago. If I remember to do it, I will even try and tag the video under this video. Anyways, guys, God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one.